Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with another video. This time I'm going to talk to you about the Jujiang Jet Commander KO Oversized Superion from the Combiner War Superion. I want to talk to you today about size comparisons, of course, quality of the build, posability, durability, the need for this, the scale that it fits in, where you'd put it in your collection, should you buy it, where do you buy it, and is it still available, and all of those great things. But let's get right into it. So this first thing we're going to do is compare it to the actual Combiner War Superion. And it's not really the Combiner War Superion, it's the Unite Warrior Superion, which is, to me, it's only better because you have this quick shot. And the other thing about it is that I have the Perfect Effects upgrades here. Hands and feet, you don't have the hand, foot, mouth disease pieces. And so this is like the best you're going to get if you have a Combiner War size. And if you see, this was like originally 150 for this particular one, but you could get if you collected the American ones, you can get them for like, I got mine for like 85 bucks buying them locally at Target to build it. But then you got another $100 in upgrades, so 180. But if you went with the actual getting the correct arm and all that stuff, you're looking at 150 plus 80, 230. This guy over here, 180 MSRP. Now I got it for 100 bucks because I bought it from somebody who's probably getting the Zeta and wants to clear this out before, or maybe they already have everything they need for Zeta, call it a day. But and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Let's offset some costs here by selling this guy. But we're going to talk about the differences here. So this guy here is much heavier. Obviously he's bigger, but he's heavier. Feels like a strong build quality. Feels like the plastic is good. I don't really feel like it's that bad. And this guy here, the only reason he feels good is because he's so small, all the little pieces are tight and intact. But I really think that what few ratchets exist in this are so much stronger in there. They're just much stronger in this guy. And the other thing is, you're going to look at, and you're going to say, okay, well, you went with a G1 cartoon representation with this guy, but you didn't with this guy. And that's because it's not quite as easy. Now, you can, if you want to, you can get over here and just to show you, I can turn a leg around and clear that gun. Well, probably can't clear the gun. There's the reason why not keep guns on there. And then you could probably, fake it till you make it kind of thing and see what it looks like. And let me clean that up and get back to you. Now, purely just for a comparison to this, we're going to flip them backwards. But it really screws up articulation and some of the great poses you can get with this guy. But there he is. Now, I kind of have, I guess, the legs swapped for color-wise and stuff like that. But they look about the same, except I do kind of feel like the Jujiang Jet Commander. The legs are more squared off, and I kind of like that look. And I'm not going to lie, I loved, in 2012 when I was out buying these things, I loved buying those. I loved buying all of these Superion figures. And I have to tell you, I hate Alpha Bravo, so he's not going to be brought into this topic because it makes no sense. But a Target locally opened up right when these were getting released and had a sale, so I got them for like 12 bucks. So I got a good deal. But anyway, looking at all that, this guy here is still more solid. But we're going to get into his negatives pretty soon and pretty quick. But let's go ahead and show you the back of these guys. Here you can see these guys from the back. And I didn't actually transform these. So I bought this secondhand and I got it used. And I got it pretty much assembled just with like the legs off. And I just attached the legs and called it a day. So I didn't have to do any work, transformations, or put any thought into it. Other than trying to make it look good and pose it and all this fun stuff. But I could tell that there's a difference here between these wings. Like, these wings are more prominent on this guy, and the joints are stronger. So you see this guy's trying to fall back when this guy will not. I can manipulate it, and he's standing there stronger. So this is a better toy. And then there's one more thing. There's like a weird little flap here, so I don't understand the transformation thing on this that I don't see on this guy. And I've had 2 of this guy and 2 of the loose versions of that, and then 1 sealed. But I never saw this flap on any of them, so I don't know what it goes to, and I don't really care. But I just kind of want to point that out. But I really think I'm impressed with what Jujiang has done here. So now, before I get into more size comparisons with other gestalts his size, I want to throw out some negatives. Then I'm going to throw out a big positive, and then I'm going to throw out more positives. So let's get right into it. So starting with the torso, if you can look real close here, you can see that it's yellowed right here, and the rest of them is nice and bright white. And the torso and the legs, so Silverbolt is yellowed. It's hard to get that to show on camera the way it should, but yeah, that's like right out the box, that yellow. And I saw it, I noticed this, I picked that up on some other reviews I've seen. Next, I've noticed I'm having some trouble with this arm. Technically, it should be the other way around. And then these feet from this guy, or I don't know, I guess those are feet, because I don't see them on the other ones the same way. They're not as prominent. It's hard to get the gun in there. I had to fake it till I made it and adjust it. And maybe what I did was the official way to do it, but I basically untabbed the gun from the handle and moved the handle to another hole in the gun to where he's technically holding on to the very back end of the gun instead of the, it's the very back instead of partially into it, but whatever. So it works. That was a kind of an issue right when I got it. And then that's about it. And I know when they combined this, there's an extra piece that folds over. So this flap folds over it to give it a little bit more support so it doesn't accidentally slide that joint out, which is a good thing. And then the build quality of these feet. Now, there is a way. Listen to that. Listen to that. Like, you don't hear stuff like that coming from Hasbro. Not anymore, at least. A nice ankle rocker. But the thing is, I have to disassemble those feet completely to get them to turn around to match the aesthetic that I like, that we like. But it also fits the comparisons for stuff like this. So now, in comparison to the TFC, the Combiner Wars itself blew TFC away. But KO oversized, plus better build, plus more solid, plus a little bit cleaner look because he's bigger, but they didn't add a bunch of junk to it. More cartoon accurate in a way. Blows this busybody looking dude away. Now, I didn't like the way this guy looked at first simply because of the way the chest was. Now, they included the Wings of Uranus chest upgrade with the KO oversized version. Still felt like he wasn't big enough. Still felt like he didn't fit with even the Combiner Wars Devastator, and I still felt like he didn't fit anywhere. And looking crazy with a whole bunch of stuff is why I waited to buy him. I only picked him up because I got him cheap, but I appreciate him and the history that he has. But people paid $500 for that thing. This is MSRP $180. I got it for $100. And if you think about it, like what we're getting for $180 versus what they were getting for $500. Now, I think that you can get the knock. This is the knockoff oversize here. You can get it for $100, but that's kind of not my point. My point is, if you bought it official, like right when it came out, and paid $500, maybe $600 for the set. I think they were $100 a figure though. Then it just feels like a waste of money. But the only way they could get away with that is because there weren't better options out now. And guess what? Better options are out. Better options are coming. And then there's other options like Fanswick's coming. So, which we don't know if they're going to be better Zeta or not. So let's kick TFC Uranus out and get in Titan's Return Devastator. I think that this Jujiang Jet Commander exists solely to match the Titan Returns Devastator. And those people who have bought the Titan Return Devastator feel it looks very G1, which I do. Feel like it fits well with a Masterpiece scale. I sort of do. And don't want to spend another $500 on a Devastator, $500 on the Zeta version, and then $500 on another Zeta like Bruticus or something. Then you know what? That's where this exists. That's why this lives in the price point, 180, for this guy, which is around 200. So that makes a lot of sense. So now, if you bring in the Jin Bao, KO Oversized Bruticus, you have a really nice looking team. And I think these all look good together. I also think they fit on a Masterpiece shelf very well. And yes, Magic Square Prime is going to be my stand-in until I get in P44 or the Transform Element. But anyway, these guys look great. Like, the scale looks good. I don't see a problem with it, other than the fact that Zeta looks so much better. That Zeta, I mean, fans, Zeta, and Zeta Toy World look better, feel better, pose better. That's where it gets it. But you're looking at almost triple the cost. So if this is the route you go, and you stick with these guys as your combiners, there's nothing wrong with that. If you love it or you like it, you win. And again, Teddy Hanger out.